So when Trump put the limiter on global trade, that put the entire process in a complete halt. So we have yet to experience the actual impact. Shelves will be empty. You just have to wait at least another month to start seeing the impact of what Donald Trump's Liberation Day looked like. We haven't even gotten there yet. We're moving on to Trump backing down.
Overnight, Beijing said that if the U.S. doesn't if the U.S. really wants to resolve this issue, it should cancel tariffs on China. And that comes as President Trump signals he's easing off his tough tariff policies in recent days.
Excellent move, sir. Another five-head move by Donald Trump. Incredible stuff. He's doing the damn thing, dude. He's doing it big time. He's doing it so good. He's doing it so sweet. Art of the deal.
His administration's talked with him. But while President Trump says there's been direct contact daily between the U.S. and China on trade.
What's funny to me is that Donald Trump had to be convinced by executives from Walmart that, like, this tariff war would inevitably lead to empty shelves that are not stocked. Like, you couldn't figure that out on your own? I'm a dumbass. I'm a stupid guy, okay? I'm not the smartest guy at all. And if I can see it, how can you, a person that is the president now twice of the United States of America, how could you not have foreseen this? It makes no sense, bro. It's so weird. Here, this is another side of the story. Scoop, senior aides across Trump admin holding high-level meetings over China, curbs on rare earths, critical to huge range of U.S. economic activity. Deep concern about impact. No easy answers. There's another part of the story. Companies relying on reserves that won't last forever may help explain Trump blink. China has complete monopoly over the refinement and procurement of rare earths that are necessary for American defense and everything else. Do you understand how stupid this is? No, not raw earth, rare earth. Damn near complete monopoly. Just like they have damn near complete monopoly over the labubu, okay? What are we doing? What the are we doing? Who do you think gets hurt more in this process? Who? Do you think it's China that gets hurt in this process? Sure, they experience a tumultuous period of economic inactivity, certainly, right? Cutie Cinderella does not get her labubus for her deco den. Shouts out to Fear End. For those of you who don't know what the I'm talking about, watch the Fear End podcast. But like, the notion that this was going to be fine for America is so laughable. It's so spectacularly stupid. Oh my God. The rare earth banned for export to U.S. is used in aerospace for lightweight aluminum alloys, laser targeting systems, LEDs, and semiconductors. And that's only a part of it. That's the rare earth minerals that China said they will not export to the United States of America. Even if they hadn't done a blanket ban on those rare earth minerals, Trump's own tariffs would have actually cooked this global trade procurement strategy. So Trump had already done it himself. And China's retaliation of the process was, okay, you don't get any of it then. You're not even going to get it at a higher price. You're just not going to get it at all. It's so funny because I have talked about all of this for the past couple of months at this point, and certainly since Donald Trump decided to molest the money, right? Liberation Day. And it's always shocking that people are still confused at this point. People are like, what? How could this have happened? Jeff Steinfollow says, Beijing does not feel like it is going to back down and that the U.S. is in no position to dictate terms. A big part of it is rare earths, where they feel they have the capacity to do significant harm to American manufacturers. Meetings have involved White House National Security Council, National Economic Council, Council of Economic Advisors, Commerce Department, Energy Department, the Office of Trade Representative, among several other agencies. Capital and other ideas DPA kicked around, but the timeline for scaling up domestic capacity uncertain. Yeah, Felix Biederman really cooked when he said Trump is molesting the money. I just keep using it over and over again. Money molestation. And by the way, it bears repeating, and it sounds so silly to say it over and over again, but this is the tip of the iceberg. I need you to understand something very important. Trade activity through shipping containers does not happen overnight. You do not just send ships worth of goods goods and cargo yesterday, and then you order them yesterday and it arrives at your doorstep tomorrow. Like, a lot of people have a false understanding of how this happens because of Amazon Prime delivery. When you go to the Amazon website and you click on a Labubu and you order it, and then it ships to your doorstep, that Labubu entered the country who knows when, probably months ago. The process of getting that Labubu into the country took 55 to 60 to at minimum 35 to 45 days, because they're coming in ships. They're coming over water. You can't just order something or have the importers order something and then like it materializes in your doorstep. So when Trump put the limiter on global trade, that put the entire process in a complete halt. So we have yet to experience the actual impact. Shelves will be empty. You just have to wait at least another month to start seeing the impact of what Donald Trump's Liberation Day looked like. We haven't even gotten there yet. Do you understand? I work in logistics and it's usually like 6 to 8 weeks by boat minimum. Yes, we have yet to see what it is going to look like. Even if they tomorrow decide, my bad, my mistake, I'm so sorry, I f***ed up, I love China, I love Xi Jinping, let's restart global trade, please. And China says, I'll let bygones be bygones. I will let you get access to our markets again. I will manufacture for you again. If all of these things took place today and that China immediately kickstarted the process of manufacturing today, we would still experience shortages in a month no matter what. You understand? We are still going to experience empty shelves. These guys that are warning Trump right now are warning him because they don't want the shelves to remain empty after the 2-month period. Because in that process, here's what else is going to happen. Okay, this is a robust industry. This is a massive part of the economy. When ships are no longer bringing goods into our ports, you no longer have longshoremen working at said ports. You are going to have a period in the month. In the upcoming month, you're going to have a period of stagnation no matter what. That is going to happen regardless. That is unavoidable. It is happening. It is going to happen. You're going to have truckers experience a period where they most likely furlough because truckers are not going to be able to move products from said ports because there's no more products coming in from said ports into grocery stores. You are going to experience shortages at grocery stores. So many people are most likely going to be laid off. And that is only because Donald Trump decided to do Liberation Day. It hasn't happened yet. It will happen. I am telling you right now, we have yet to experience the results of Trump's Liberation Day. Right now, the immediate impact is in the market. And even then, a lot of people are too stupid to look into the future to recognize what Donald Trump's halting of global trade is going to look like 2 months down the line. It is crazy. You do not know, or at least I hope you can understand what it's going to look like right now. I manage a lot of brands, Amazon presence, including a lot of logistics. Many are shipping to Canada to hold and be ready to move to the U.S. when tariffs are gone. Reduces risk for a small increased cost. Many Chinese-owned brands are also just straight lying on customs declarations as well. So U.S.-owned companies that import from China are at a massive disadvantage. Couldn't COVID be a model for this as well? Dude, this is worse. But I think it will resemble COVID, like early period of COVID where everything halted. But I think the impact that it will have on the logistics side of things for shipping companies, for longshoremen, and for truckers is going to be even more severe than COVID. Trucking volumes are down 8.3% month over month. We're approaching COVID low levels in trucking. The market continues to stall. This is going to get so much worse. Again, we haven't even arrived at the dead zone. There is going to be a period. Like I said, if tomorrow Trump said, reset, sorry about the tariffs, my bad, and China said, you're all good, I'll let bygones be bygones. If they started this process today, there would still be a dead zone. There is going to be a dead zone of all economic activity because Donald Trump thought that he could just shut off trade from 30% of the entire U.S. economy. 30%. And not only that, but also he's also tacked on tariffs to Canada and Mexico. Canada, Mexico, and China comprise 72% of all economic activity in this country. 72%. So as that one chatter was saying, a lot of importers are basically rerouting manufacturing into China, or not rerouting manufacturing, but like rerouting goods from China into Canada with the hopes that they can then, move them across the border. There's still a tariff there. And that still isn't enough. That's not going to make up for that trade dead zone that you are going to experience. And even then, there's a universal 10% tax that we are all going to be paying for. Japan will not take part in any trade bloc that seeks to isolate China, given the importance of China as a trading partner. Japan intends to push back against any U.S. effort to bring it into an economic bloc aligned against China because of the importance of Tokyo's trade ties with Beijing, according to current and former Japanese government officials. Like many other countries, Japan is trying to get permanent relief from President Donald Trump's tariffs by addressing U.S. concerns in areas of bilateral trade, including automobiles and agriculture. The officials who asked not to be identified said that Japan is pushing to strike a deal before the current 90-day reprieve in tariffs expires, with one person saying the country hopes to finalize an agreement around the Group of Seven summit in June. At the same time, the official said that Japan doesn't want to get caught up in any U.S. effort to maximize trade pressure on China by curbing its own economic interaction with Beijing, which is Tokyo's biggest trading partner and an important source of goods and raw materials. I like to think in my head canon that I opened up these conversations to the Japanese audience by engaging in bilateral negotiations with the Japanese Communist Party, which of course does not have any motion in the Japanese diet, but it doesn't matter. In my mind, it does. Oh, wow. It's actually over the U.S. in that case. What other states can they even force into an anti-China alliance at this point? The UK, Argentina, South Korea, maybe? Yesterday, I asked President Trump in the Oval if there have been any direct talks with China on trade. He answered, yeah, of course, every day. Here is the China Commerce Ministry. Any content about China-U.S. economic and trade negotiations is groundless and has no factual basis. Here's Ryan Grimm reacting to the news about Japan.
The sheer stupidity of Trump's strategy going into this trade war is now finally coming into the sharpest focus I think that we've seen yet. It's been a complete catastrophe from start to finish, and we can now understand completely why. He went in with a plan to encircle China. So here's Treasury Secretary Bessent saying that the plan here is you're going to get Vietnam, you're going to get Japan, you're going to get other Southeast Asian countries. You're going to unify them into a bloc, and you're going to collectively then pressure China to change its trade policies. That might actually have been a decent strategy. It might actually have worked out for those countries and for American workers. But that, of course, is not what Trump did. Like, you guys have been around. You've been watching this entire thing. What did he do? He slapped tariffs on the entire world to start, including Japan, Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam, you name it. So he picked a fight with the people that he claimed he was going to have in his coalition. And so now, today, Japan is saying, we are not doing any type of trade deal with the United States that upsets our trade situation with China. Because the United States is an adversary of Japan at this very moment, not an ally anymore. So why would Japan do us any favors and hurt itself in its relationship with China, who has been the relatively stable country in this? So the idea...
It's not just that China is the relatively stable country in this process because of American instability, but it's also a very powerful country due to its significance in manufacturing. Like, why the would countries just go, all right, we're just going to rip apart our trade agreements that we've done with China for what? For the crime of developing themselves in the process? That was the point, wasn't it? You asked the World Trade Organization, you asked the World Bank, they constantly talk about how free trade is so beneficial for the global South. Free trade is so beneficial in uplifting the material conditions of the working class around the world. And then one country does it and they go, whoa, 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 hold up now. Not like that. We didn't mean you were actually going to engage in even development, rapid urbanization, and actually become a competitive global superpower. We didn't mean it like that. We thought you were just going to still be like this despotic fucking place where there is a Gini coefficient so fucking vast that it makes people's heads spin. We thought all of the wealth was going to be in the hands of Western aligned leadership within the party structure that are quintrillionaires at this point. And then the rest of the working class of China was going to be the peasantry. I'm so confused. How did this happen? Yeah, they looked at China and they were like, whoa, what are you doing? The secondary aspect of this is that America still maintains global stability through its empire, through its tentacles, its military bases, 1,000 of them all around the world. That still hasn't fallen, okay? There's that too. There's that aspect of this equation as well. That's part of the reason why I think China wants to maintain America as the reserve currency, at least right now, at least for now. May 2025 volumes are now expected to drop 20.5% year over year to 1.6 million TEUs, while June could see an even steeper 26.6% decline to 1.57 million TEUs. No one is thinking about back to school, but this is the season when they are being shipped from overseas. Industry leaders are warning of supply chain crisis as Trump tariffs hit U.S.-China trade. Things are dire when we're looking at industry papers, okay? This is a dire warning. When we start looking at trade publications, it's over. All because we didn't like how much we saw COVID and we did not like how much China was manufacturing, and we're like, oh, we got to change this. Except did we actually build a robust base of manufacturing in the past 4 years when Biden was the president? No, we didn't do that at all. We didn't do none of that. Is Trump implementing a command economy and building a robust infrastructure and training people right now to deal with high precision manufacturing? No, we're not doing none of that. Did we set up contracts for at least rare mineral extraction with countries that currently have almost monopoly deals with China? Do we set up refinement facilities to be able to refine these minerals? No, we didn't do that either. So what the are we doing? Throwing a goddamn tantrum and saying, hey, listen, we have the global reserve currency and we have a import economy. We are the consumption engine of the planet, a major market that everyone wants to be a part of due to the way that we have designed global trade over the course of the past multiple decades. So we'll ourselves unless you do what we want. And then people go, what do you want? And they go, I don't know, just build a factory here or something. Okay, that's going to take a decade, dumbass. What are you doing? You should have set up the factories first and then done this. You can't do trade protectionism if you have no trade to protect. So all we're doing in this process is like telling Europe, hey, man, if you want to get out of this bind, if you want to keep selling products to the United States of America, well, guess what you have to do? You have to literally purchase our chicken, okay? You have to purchase salmonella chicken. That's it. No other way out of this. You have to purchase hormone beef. No other way out of this. Do you understand? And more of our weapons. And also our F-150s. Will we make smaller vehicles, mid-sized sedans that can, work in your market? No. Buy the Ford F-150 right now. I don't care what you do with it. You can dump it in the ocean for all I care, but you have to buy it. Going to Cambodia and being like, I'm sorry, you have to buy a fleet of F-35 jets is hilarious. They'd be like, sorry, you need Boeing weapons. That's the only thing we manufacture. You have to buy them. Otherwise, we can't fix this trade deficit. Great stuff. Thousands and then millions of American small businesses, including many iconic brands, will go bankrupt this year if the tariff policies on China don't change. These small businesses are largely, this is a founder and CEO of Flexport. These small businesses are largely unable to move their manufacturing out of China. They are last in line when they try to go to a new country. This guy's talking about long term. I'm talking about short term. I'm talking about in the next month or so, you are going to see significant impacts, even if Donald Trump, like I said, tomorrow or today said, it's time to reverse this tariff. I'm sorry, my bad. And China played ball. You would still see a lot of immediate impacts in terms of empty shelves in the next month or so because trade has all but halted. The manufacturers in Vietnam and elsewhere can't be bothered with small batch production jobs, typical of a small business supply chain. When the brands fail, they will be purchased out of bankruptcy by their Chinese factories, who thus far have built everything except the customer-facing brand, which is where most of the value capture happens already. Consumer goods companies typically mark up the goods 3x or more to support their fixed costs, including millions of American employees. Now the factories will get to vertically integrate and capture the one part of the chain they haven't yet dominated. American businesses import $600 billion worth of goods from China every year. Assuming typical retail markups we see in Flexport data, those goods create almost $2 trillion worth of sales every year. In the weeks since the tariffs hit, ocean freight booking from China are down 50% across the industry. Flexport bookings from China are down more like 35%, but sources at carriers and forwarders indicate 50% is the industry-wide stat. That is 50% of all trade coming in from China. That is 30% of all goods. 15% of all goods is gone. It evaporated. Do you understand what that looks like? 15% of all goods that you normally would get gone. That's around $1 trillion of economic activity wiped out. And these companies tend to run very lean, financing inventory and reinvesting excess cash in more marketing and growth initiatives. If the goods stop, many will die. And when they die, it may actually be the final victory for the Chinese manufacturers as they scoop up brands that took decades to build through the blood, sweat, and tears of some of the most creative and entrepreneurial people in the world. American brand builders are second to none worldwide. The fact is America will have to back off these tariffs. It's just a question of when. Even if it's not this administration, a future one will realize they've got to get us out of this recession. No, it has to be this administration, because I don't even think Trump would be able to survive this for an entire year, because we would be in a Great Depression by that point. Because understand what I'm saying. If trade halts in its entirety, that means the trucking industry plummets. That means the ports are out of business. It's over. A Great Depression, the greatest of depression. People lose their jobs. People no longer have the finances to purchase things. And then the domestic products that are being sold, like the agriculture business, collapse because people just don't have enough money to buy shit that they need to buy. And then they fire the people on that side. And for Americans, perhaps the scariest scenario becomes reality. No more burger. Think about that. Think about a world without burger. Close your eyes and just think. No more cheeseburger. Do you know what that world looks like? Do you want to live in that world where no more cheeseburger is a reality? I certainly don't. Give me burger or give me death. We go from everything's computer to nothing is computer. Okay? No more computer. Fantastic stuff. Amazing. Amazing, dude.